Welcome to my first layout update in quite some time. This one we're going to see trains running quite a bit, featuring 5 different locomotives here. I'm going to try to give you a good tour of my layout, what's there. I'll tell you a bit about how some of it got there. We're going to have some fun here. We're going to run some at night. We're going to see accessories operate. There's animation in here. So sit back, relax, have something to drink if you'd like, maybe a little snack, and just have some fun. In the foreground here is the one corner of the layout that's still awaiting decisions on what to do with it. There may be some sort of a park with a children's play area in there yet. That's being discussed, but no decisions have been made. To the left here you see Blue River. That's all handmade, both of those buildings, as are all of the roads. The roads are just simply cardboard and boxes. Most of this stuff was shipped to me in. In fact, both the roofs at Blue River are the corners that were in a packing box. Stationary here is a locomotive I got for parts that's perfectly good on the outside, so it's in a display of a retired locomotive, and we'll see more on that in a bit. The locomotive going by right now is running because of the armature that's in that came from that Erie locomotive sitting there. The railroad crossing sign is handmade. All of them are. You can't see what's on it, but the very left corner is a speed limit sign. The street automobiles on the layout are all 1/64 scale, as are the trains. The black cars following the Royal Blue locomotive will become Royal Blue cars. I'm still in the process of making some adaptations to them, and then I need to get some paint and lettering for them. All of the ballast, the grass, and dirt you see here is actually sand from the local beaches with paint put in the glue as I mixed it and put it on the layout. All the small tiles in the rails are hand cut from strips of balsa, painted and glued in place to fill in the track and make it look more realistic. The tunnel that's in one corner of the layout and some of the other raised areas on the layout are all insulating foam, as many people use, all shaped and painted. The stonework you see in the foreground is all pressed in the foam using a pen. The actual layout is in 6 sections, and the tunnel and everything else that covers more than one section can be lifted off the layout if and when it does need to be moved at some point. Just to the right of the track, coming into the picture that you just saw, is a handmade house I made for the campground office. We'll see more of the campground in a bit. In the background to the left is a covered bridge that's all handmade by me. There, that brown with the gray roof is that office and campground store, the back side of it. In the foreground here is the only section of track that is not original A.C. Gilbert track. It's the first track I bought on this go-around of building a layout. It's the Lionel-made fast track. I got that initially to display the first car I got that got me going on building another layout, which was the 15th anniversary Lionel-made American Flyer Polar Express car. That's now become 3 cars. You'll see them in action later on. Otherwise, all the track, everything you see running is original A.C. Gilbert built. All the Royal Blue locomotive came to me serviced and ready to run, and is running beautifully. All the other locomotives you see running came to me in unworking condition. Some of them were quite a mess. The 290 that's about to go by in the foreground here is actually parts of 2 290s, plus some of the locomotive in display off in the distance in the center here. It was quite a project to get that one working. I still need to work on the smoke unit. Here it comes now. The 310 you see on the siding to the left, you'll see running later. It was not operational when I got it. That was another project. Here's another view of the covered bridge. There is a mirror in the background. That's why you can see it twice. The blue house is the only Plasticville building I believe I've ever had. All completely repainted from the way it was when I got it. It actually has a floor between the stories, windows, glass in all the windows, and shades and drapes in the windows. Of course, anyone familiar with American Flyer recognizes the Mystic Station in the center background. That station has an interior in it. Earlier video showed what's in there now. I'll be adding a bit more to it later. The caboose going off in the distance is one I recently got, which duplicates a caboose I got with my second train set back in 1960. The locomotive you see going by smoking is one I recently picked up in a hobby shop. The first time I've been in the hobby shop in more than 3 years. It was really covered in dust. The owner of the shop thought it would run. It didn't run, but when I got the dust cleaned off, I found out it's basically mint condition. Needed a little bit of work, and as you can tell, it's running beautifully now. There's the whistling billboard. You will hear that whistle later. There's the campground office to its left. Named that Wick Campground because that's my name. The sign is green because my mother's maiden name was Green. The fence you see to the left is some wooden dowels that I just put some grooves in to make them look like fence. That's separating the rail line from the campground, which is off to the left, and you'll see more of that later as well. And here's an accessory I recently got working. I had one of these in my layouts back in the 80s and 90s. I was glad to get another one. This one, other than that little bit of paint you can see on it, is in really, really good shape. And there was the whistling billboard. If you're looking closely at the top of this image, which you shouldn't be, but you might see me up there working at my control center, which has 4 transformers. I have one dedicated to each of my 3 main lines, and another one which operates my accessories. If you see anything here you would like to know more about, please feel free to ask questions in the comments, offer whatever comments you want. I enjoy interchange with people and sharing with people. Here's the train moving from the outer loop to the center loop. All 3 loops are connected. I can move trains from any one to any one of the others. I do have 3 short sidings I can use for switching operations. You see one in the foreground here. There's another one by the campground and one that runs in behind Mystic Station. In the back left, you see the red light on the top of the water tank. The long dimension on my layout is east to west. You're looking from the east end to the west here. The backdrop is painted banner material hung on posts around there, so I can take down any part I need to, which is what I was able to do to get these various angles without a lot of distracting background. In time, I plan to actually paint more on the backdrop so it isn't just all blue. Now we're getting into evening. Here's a shot of the lights I do have so far, and we're now going to go see some night running. I don't get to do this very often, but I do enjoy running the trains in the dark and really getting advantage of the lights I do have. In time, I will be adding more. And there you see the 3 Polar Express cars on here primarily because they all light and they're good to use at night. We've got a bit more night running coming and then something special when we get to morning. So stay tuned. And if you're liking this, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to my channel. That really helps me know that you enjoy what I do. And there's a notification bell there. You can hit that and get notifications for some of my videos or all of them. When I was young, I got to ride passenger trains across the country. I still remember some of those rides, especially at night. Might be asleep, but we'd pull into a station, we'd all wake up, we'd look out at the people on the platform, maybe wave at them, they might wave back. The train would pull out and go back to sleep to the clickety-clack and the rocking back and forth of the trains. Those were very special memories. I got my first American Flyer train for Christmas in 1958 and got a second train in 1960. Running on this layout in this video are the 3 cars that duplicate the 3 cars that were in that first American Flyer train I got. The lighted caboose I mentioned earlier was with the second train I got. I have not replaced that one. Okay, we're about ready to get to the next morning and another special little adventure. The security man has just opened the gate at the locomotive display, and there's a young man ready to go in there. He wants to get up in the cab of that locomotive. I've had a chance to do this a couple times, including back when I was young. Always a special moment. Here he is, playing engineer. Now he and his mom are off, and the mail is about to arrive at Blue River. Wow, let's look at that again and see what just happened. Here we go in slow motion. Out comes one mail and in goes another. Let's see that again. And one more time, just for fun. You see the mailman there ready to collect the mail. And here's a few scenes of the campground that I built. It's at the base of the mountain. And now let's deliver some freight. We're going to back into the siding behind Mystic Station, and we're going to unload this boxcar. This is an operating car. I don't have everything to make it work yet, although it does operate. We're simulating that here. Now we've got this big box. It's time to get that moved off to its destination. Get the truck backed up in place. Drop the tailgate. Get the box loaded, close the tailgate, and off we go. Thank you for joining me on this little adventure. I hope you enjoyed it. Share this with friends if you think they'd like it. And thanks again for watching another adventure with American Flyer Trains.